the stereotypes that exist about African Americans were quietly a quiet little murmur that was going on, saying, well, they're this kind of people or they're that kind of people.
Right.
I won't even speak on some of the things that they say that we are.
Absolutely.
But with empowering voices, I want to get every single business owner on my couch or in my chair and have them tell me, what is your narrative?
Yes. I am Dr. Alisha Wilkins, owner of Hera Hub Temecula, and in honor of Black History Month, I have with me an exciting guest. She is Dr. Evelyn Anderson, and she is the president of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, the Inland Valley Cities chapter, which covers which particular territories? I mean, I know Temecula and Murrieta. Are you also covering Wildomar and Menifee as well? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
we have 6 cities. Temecula, Murrieta, Wildomar, Menifee, Lake Elsinore, and Canyon Lake.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the huge area here. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey? How did you end up becoming president of the chamber, of the Black Chamber in this area?
Well, I tell you, I knew when I finished my studies years ago that I wanted to find an organization that represented the things that were important to me. And the things that were important to me with the chamber was the fact that they looked at African Americans and said, you know, every chart, every study shows that we are the group that has been marginalized the most, right?
Correct.
Even the government now has described minorities as BIPOCs, and it starts with Black, Indigenous people, and then people of color.
Right.
There's a reason why Blacks are put first, you know, so we've been marginalized the most. And I've been successful with working in a lot of different arenas. I've worked in banking and with the wealthy. Then I moved over to public service and working in law enforcement. And the leaders in those industries, they basically saw my talents and they utilized my talents. But unfortunately, the majority of the time, my talents weren't used for people that looked like me. So I was committed when I left my public service career that I was going to focus on the needs of Black people.
Awesome.
Yeah, not being where I was excluding other races. I still embrace other races.
Correct.
But I wanted to make sure that, you know, we've been marginalized the most, so I want to use my talents for that purpose.
Absolutely.
And then I found the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I found my home. I came in as the vice president under the former president, Talonda Hughes. She stepped down. And when she stepped down, she asked me if I wanted to take on the president's role. And I'd launched a couple of businesses, so I said, you know, this could be good balance for my business.
Absolutely.
You know, so I went ahead and took that, you know, that mantle, been working on it. Recently, they asked me to step up and be the board chair over all 15 chambers.
You're like, more responsibility.
Right. Yeah. That's exciting. It's exciting though, because they saw the success that I had in the Inland Valley, and they want me to, you know, help some of the other presidents get there too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Black Chamber, how is it that the chamber actually supports the businesses that are part of your chamber?
I tell you what, it's holistic.
Yes.
It really is that people need somewhere where they can have a safe space.
Yes.
They can go shoulder to shoulder with someone that's had similar life experiences to them. Not saying that we can't sit in a room with other people, but sometimes you just need to be near someone that has been through the same thing you have.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to establishing value in your business, we have to trust each other first. So if Johnny is fixing cars, give Johnny a chance to fix your car, right? Because society looks at our businesses and thinks that they don't have as much value as other businesses do. So who better to prove that they do than someone like you?
One of the most exciting things that happened to me, like almost immediately after becoming a member of the Black Chamber, was when one of the previous presidents was having an event. A guest speaker talked about one of the grants that was available to businesses through the state. Right. And I hadn't known anything about that. And I'm sure that there was a number of businesses that did not know and would not have known if I hadn't been at the chamber on that particular night. And I remember applying for it, and immediately it was $5,000 that ended up coming to me, like within just a matter of a couple of weeks.
Nice.
And it was a grant, so it wasn't a loan. And mind you, it wasn't, huge, but at the same time, it was $5,000 that I didn't have. Right. You know what I mean? And so that is an example of a success story that I had as a result of my, membership with the Black Chamber, as well as being engaged. Because it's one thing to have a membership, but you also want to be engaged and participating in the networking events and all the other events that are taking place as well. So do you have any other success stories that you like to share with us? There's probably so many of them.
Oh my goodness. I think when I started a lending company a few years ago, and when I started the lending company, I went to a mega mixer. Mega mixer is where all the chambers come together, regardless of what their mission statement is or whatever. They all come together and share resources. So I go to the one in Palm Springs, and I met a woman there that was doing home health care, and she recognized that she needed to start an industrial cleaning business, of course, as a secondary business. Yes. And she was my first client.
Wow.
She was my first client.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had the information and knowledge about financing, but when I brought it all together into Elevate Commercial Lending, oh my goodness, I never realized that people could get $50,000 and uplift their business.
Yes. Oh,
and then after
difference.
After you built on that $50,000, you come back later and get $250,000. Now you're a $300,000 business.
Yeah.
And then it goes on and on from
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was my personal success story. Now I've heard so many others tell me things that have happened for them.
Yes.
Getting grants, partnering with other people,
Absolutely.
expanding their business. Yes.
And then learning about other businesses, because there's, oftentimes the mixers are at other locations. So, the last location that we went to, I didn't even know that it existed. Right. So, and there's been some Black businesses that I didn't even know were here in my own town that we've had events at that, I wouldn't have known other than the fact that, the Black Chamber happened to have their mixer there. So that's been really exciting too. So can we, along the lines of financial, and to elaborate more on what Elevate does as well, can you talk about the challenges, one of the biggest challenges that you see with businesses? Because I'm going to assume that it's always this. Yeah. Which also provides an opportunity to talk more about Elevate as well.
Well, I'll tell you that all the studies show, everybody that studies what is the problem with minority and small businesses with actually competing for contracts and actually getting, contracts with big businesses in the United States. And they say they're not contract ready.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the contract ready factors is to have just like a few things in order, things you wouldn't even think about.
Yes.
Employer identification.
Yes.
Having a business structure together. Deciding they're gonna move from a sole proprietorship into a corporation, and understanding what goes into that.
Yes.
Having their their banking relationship established, and then separating things like personal finances and business finances.
Yes.
So in other words, having clean financials.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I work with with my clients. And I work with clients that are business startups, just been in business for a few years, or they've gotten to 300,000 and they want to get to 1 million.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and one of the things that I do is I have 10 steps I put them through right away. Let's get you your business structure together. Once the business structure is together and you're filing your taxes regularly, so I'm talking financials and participating in governance and all of that, registrations, certifications, all of that are in place, then I can get them financed. So I usually set up milestones for them. Most of my clients do have to go through milestones before I can get them where they're able to get financed. And then, but once I get them where they're able to be financed, we can take their business to the next level.
And I think that that's such a phenomenal idea, because I think with some financial lenders, oftentimes they'll throw their rod into the pond and pull out a small fish, and the small fish is too small for them, so they just toss them back into the pond. Whereas it sounds like you actually go, okay, it's a small fish, but guess what, I'm going to feed it and make it bigger so that they're ready so they've gone through all the steps, they've met all these different milestones so that they are actually ready. You actually have a book on being contract ready. So can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Okay. The impetus for writing Becoming Contract Ready was because I realized that people did not have their structures together. And some of the basic registrations and certifications, they didn't have them in place. And historically, that's how we were excluded. There actually is a reference here about the Democratic National Convention, because it was a powerful, powerful success story. 3 of them, actually. There were 3 minority-owned businesses, just happened to be Black-owned businesses, that were able to secure contracts for the Democratic National Convention. So I used that as a reference because I knew there were a lot of firsts in that National Convention. So I know people were going to remember it, and they were going to take note of it. And for them to understand that 3 business owners, one of them was able to, he said it was the largest contract that he had ever gotten before. He said he had done multifaceted contracts before, but nothing on that scale. And it's the first time in history that a Black-owned business actually set the stages, did the sounds and the lighting for the National Convention. And people need to understand that while they think that their little business can't contribute at that level, one of the businesses was a woman that did parties. And she basically handled all of the event stuff. Right? So that's a success story that's in Becoming Contract Ready. So actually, my business, I'm a business growth strategist. That's what I do. I help business owners grow their business.
It's more than just the financing part. It is.
The financing part came out of my vision, where I realized what is the biggest thing that is the deficiency for minority and small business owners. And the first thing was capital. And every study lists capital as one of the deficiencies. So I wanted to address that first, and then I saw there's something even deeper. Right? What's deeper is them being contract ready and being prepared to contract at the highest level, opening their minds up to believe that they can contract at that level. They can participate. Sometimes they might have to partner with a different organization. A plumber may have to partner with a drywaller.
Absolutely.
They may have to partner with different people. Another thing that I saw was that the business owners lacked or they were reluctant. They were reluctant to talk about what they know. Right? So the next book that I released is Establishing Entrepreneurial Expertise.
Nice. I'm excited about that one. So tell us all about that one. I've already heard about it, but I think the rest of the world needs to hear about it too. So yes.
Well, this is Establishing Entrepreneurial Expertise is a guide to writing a book in 30 days or less. And as I told you, it's not about writing Moby Dick or winning a Pulitzer Prize. It's about being able to articulate what it is that you do
Mm-hmm.
and explain your method. Because most business owners have a 3-prong, a 5-prong, or 10 steps that they use, whether they're a chef, whether they're a hairdresser, a coach, a plumber, an electrician.
Yes.
They have the set of steps that they use for every single client.
Right.
So I explain to them in the book exactly how to outline those steps and explain those steps. And the key is to bring in industry professionals or people that they respect, bring in their comparison. So in other words, use a comparative model, which means that you can reflect their success and attach it to what it is that you're doing.
Gotcha.
Right.
Nice.
So I'll give you a little tidbit inside the book. I used Apple and the Lego Corporation. Well, Apple was failing for 12 years.
Yes.
What did they do? They brought in a relationship, a partnership with Microsoft, and we know what happened.
Yes.
Right? Lego Corporation was a home-built corporation with family people that were basically being the CEOs.
Yes.
They brought in an exterior CEO.
Okay.
And he said, let's take Lego and partner with Star Wars.
And we know what happened there.
We know what
It
happened
took
next.
off. Yes.
That's right. Well, the common thread is that they established strategic partnerships and built on the brand and branding and marketing and established relationships with those companies. So imagine if your company or you're a business coach and you're telling people that they need to build strategic partnerships, and then you bring in those references in your book. Now you can relate your success to the success of these people.
Absolutely. Where we can find your books.
I am actually an author on Amazon, so I actually have an author's page on Amazon. All of my books will be on Amazon.
Fantastic.
And both of them have been released, so I'm really excited about that. Also, with each book, I did an online curriculum.
Okay.
I just decided recently the Becoming Contract Ready curriculum is going to be an open source.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
So what open source means is that it's going to be in the public domain, which means that everyone can access it for free.
That's awesome.
Now I can go to inner city schools and I can release it to the instructors there. I can release it at the community colleges. I can release it all across the nation.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
and just tell
fantastic.
them it's free.
Yeah.
Just teach the people so that they
Absolutely.
can learn and they can grow. And I can just sit back and enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
becoming contract ready and establishing entrepreneurial expertise, writing a book in 30 days or less.
Yes, I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, the other thing that I wanted to ask you about too is upcoming events. Can you share when the chamber meets here and if there's any other upcoming events that we should know about?
Well, very, very exciting. This is Black History Month, and we have the first Black Captain America.
Yes.
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 The movie is premiering this weekend. If anybody knows the movie industry, the first weekend sales, the actors get a little bit larger cut of the monies that come out. So we want to support them this weekend.
Absolutely.
So on March 15th here in Temecula, we're all going down to the Temecula Center, and we're going to watch the movie. If you come at 9 o'clock, that's when we're all going to be together, but you can see the movie all day. Yeah, and there's going to be a car show there, you know, and activities for people. And California Pizza Kitchen is actually giving us 20% of the proceeds on that day.
Nice.
So that's super exciting.
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do a guest appearance on certifications for the Black Chamber in Long Beach on the 13th.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a drive, but I want to make sure that I get to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a presentation for them, and one of the handouts, and this is one of the benefits of being a member of the Black Chamber of Commerce, is that one of the handouts that I'll be giving out will be a list of the major 12 certifying agencies. It'll include their address, website information, telephone numbers, the cost of the certification, what the certification can be used for, you know, so people at first blush will be able to tell, am I eligible for this certification? Because if you're not a veteran, you might not be eligible for a veteran certification if you're not disabled and so on. So the important part is that they will have the 12 leading agencies when they leave there. So you come to Black Chamber meetings and you're going to get a benefit.
Exactly.
Right? You're going to get a benefit.
Did I miss that one? Was it out here? Did you already do that one out here?
You know, I did it a while
Okay.
ago, but I will be doing it again in
Okay,
March.
good.
I'll be doing it
You
again in
are?
March. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm presenting in March at the Chamber meeting.
Nice. So come out in February. So the next one is going to be, I don't have my,
We meet the last Tuesday of the month,
yes.
and we are going to be at Portals again in
Nice.
Temecula.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
It's such a great venue, and the owner is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, super, super great host. So let's talk, before you head out, about just the future growth of Black businesses here in the Southern California region. Like, what's your vision?
First, ensure everyone is contract ready. And then I want them to establish their expertise. I want them all to come out of social media, come out of normally people establish their expertise by doing a social media post, doing a webinar, or maybe doing a 15-second elevator pitch. I want to elevate them.
Yes.
I want them to all be published and to be able to tell their story. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is I have a TV show. It's called Empowering Voices.
Okay.
Empowering Voices is all about us creating our own narrative.
Okay.
The stereotypes that exist about African Americans were a quiet little murmur that was going on, saying, well, they're this kind of people, or they're that kind of people.
Right.
I won't even speak on some of the things that they say that we are.
Absolutely.
But with Empowering Voices, I want to get every single business owner on my couch or in my chair and have them tell me, what is your narrative?
Yes.
I teach at a university, and I tell my students, don't let anyone else define you. I want the business owners to define themselves. And then it gives them a forum for them to explain what their business is, to establish what the value is, and it helps them to be more competitive.
Yes.
Yeah, so
awesome.
that's going to be my next steps for this year.
Big
so stand by, everybody. I'm coming.
Absolutely. So do you have any final message that you would like to share with anyone who is an entrepreneur out there? They can be maybe an aspiring entrepreneur.
Well, I tell you, I've changed careers several different times. And the key is that whatever it is you dream of, do it. And guess what? You can change it.
Yeah.
You can change your mind.
Absolutely.
But in these times, it'd be hard to be in Black History Month and not note that our times are difficult right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And our nation is very divided.
Absolutely.
But instead of focusing on the divide, you have to look at it and look at the people and say, they're doing what they're doing, but what am I doing? What am I doing to improve myself or to be the best version of who I am?
Absolutely.
Be the best version of yourselves, and whatever door it is that's in front of you, if you can't open it, kick it down, knock it down, get through it, because you can do it. You can do it.
And on top of that, grab somebody else, which is the purpose of being a part of the chamber. And then with the two of you, then push down that door. That's another reason why it's important to stay in community when it comes to your business as well. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon and sharing not only your subject matter expertise that has evolved over several iterations of being an entrepreneur and being a professor. I mean, the two merged together or make the perfect, the perfect match when it comes to, especially your role as the president of the Black Chamber. It provides that opportunity to learn, and that's what you're giving. You're giving back to the community with that. So we will include in this this video information on Elevate Lending, as well as where you can find Dr. Anderson's 2 books on Amazon. We'll include links to that as well. And then information on events that the Chamber is having, as well as their monthly meetings and mixers. So thank you for joining us.